Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and today we're going to get a look at what's inside the WE Bullit. They're designed by Ulrich, and you guys already know I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but he has made a cool knife. Let's see what's in there. And as you know, with all the newer WE knives, we only need one major tool to get them apart. This guy right here. This is a WEHA TA driver in a Scout Leather Company Torx or hex bit driver, and somebody made a comment that the hex bit driver was as expensive as some knife, and well, it's not. I get the Wabi Sabi versions, and they're about I think they were $40 or $45 a piece. Is that expensive for a hex bit driver? That's hard to quantify, but let me put it like this: if you buy these things from any of your major big box stores, you are going to break them. It's a foregone conclusion, or they're not the right size. They don't fit well. They're a pain in the butt. You lose them, they break. They're not comfortable, and the biggest thing is they break. And the difference here is this guy is not going to break. I'm probably not going to lose it because it's pretty weighty and stays on the desks instead of getting carried off by everybody because they need a hex bit driver. They always carry off the Craftsman or whatever else is laying around. So overall, I think it is worth the money, and it's not that crazy expensive. Anyhow, guys, let's get to this. A T8's all we need, so let's start down here with our pocket clip screws and get those out. Now, these pocket clip screws on this side for the pocket clip are going to be longer than the screws on the other side of the knife. But the pocket clip, I believe, yes, it is just smooth. There's nothing fancy there. There's no milled out area. And that's fine. It seems to work good. Now let's go for our body screws. And we didn't really look at these screws, but there you go. They're standard WE screws, nice and snug. We'll go ahead and pull out the body screws. Be sure to keep track of your screws because they are different sizes on this knife. It's not that, oh, and there we go. We got a sleeve spinning on us, so I need to find the other hex bit driver. Hang on just a second. And that is one of the things you will run into. WE uses sleeves in the titanium, some stainless sleeves. So sometimes you will end up, which side are we taking out here? You will end up with screws that, you know, one side will want to come out or the other side will, and you will have to have two T8s to get it done. And get our pivot out. There's our pivot. There's a little bit of Loctite in there, but nothing horrendous. And just lift the knife apart, and we've got one screw out of the backspacer on one side and one screw out of the backspacer on the other side, so this may be a little bit interesting. Let's see if we can pull that other screw out. And it's not going to come out, so we're going to have to kind of work it apart. Go ahead and knock that pivot out of there and get that blade free. Get our bearing set off to the side, get our pivot out, because we want to be able to work this a little bit so that we can, must be a pin down there too, there is. There we go. Just took a little bit of work there. And there is our lock bar insert and over travel stop. Over travel stop right there. Goes up against the frame. There's all of our internal milling. And somebody suggested I use a magnet, and wow, they are brilliant. There you go. Here comes the magnet. Gets both of those little things out nice and easy. Beautiful. And we don't want to take that thing all the way out. I don't think, oh, we will. It's going to come out, so we'll go ahead and take it out so you can see all of what's in here. We've got a pin here for alignment and to hold this backspacer in place. Milling all through here. Stop pin. WE's stop pins are always good and tight. Something we've seen that doesn't always happen with some other brands. And, you know, the stop pin does not have to be super tight, but it needs to align itself whenever you put the knife together. And most knives do, even if the stop pin's a bit loose, but not all of them. So anyhow, that is what's inside the knife. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy cleaned up. And all I'm going to do to clean it up is use a little alcohol, wipe everything down, because this is essentially a brand new knife, so I don't need to go to the ultrasonic or any of that craziness. And then we'll put it all back together after the Vibratite has cured. I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, Vibratite is on, Vibratite is cured. And what is Vibratite? Well, that's the thread sealant or thread locker that I use. And I definitely suggest it on most knives, especially flipper knives, because it's called Vibratite for a reason. It does a better job with shock than most of your standard thread locking compounds. So that's why I use that stuff. I put it in one of these because, well, the bottle it came in was junk, and Susie had some of these around, so there you go. And these seem to work out really well for the stuff. Now, let's get back to putting this bullet back together. Now, as we saw earlier, we've got a pin right here. It's a locating pin, and we have one of these sleeves on each side of the scale. So let's get our this guy back in place, our backspacer, and we're putting it on the side where the WE logo side of the pivot goes. And whenever you put in one of these WE pivots, see that little edge right there? A little step? Well, that mates up to a little step right there in the titanium of the handle. So whenever you're putting one of these together, make sure to get those two spots lined up and that your pivot goes back in there nice and flush. Nice and flush, see? If your pivot's standing up like this, well, you're going to have problems. We don't want that, so we want to get it in there nice and flush, and there we go. And now we need some 10-weight nano oil. We'll drop a little around there, and we have our counter bores in the handle. So when we have the counter bores in the handle, we put the closed side of the bearing into, well, we almost forgot. Let's see, getting all ahead of myself. Got to put that little backing washer in there, or things don't fit right. All right, now let's get back to the 10-weight nano oil. Put just a little bit there. Drop that guy down in there. Put just a little bit across the face of the bearing. Don't need a whole lot, guys. It's one of those less is more type of things whenever we're dealing with these ceramic ball bearings. And drop our blade back in. There we go, all looking good. Now, we want to put just a few drops right there, maybe a drop up there around the pivot, and put the open side of the bearing race up, and put we'll put just a little more, a few more drips of oil in there, and put our backing washer behind it. And now we've got to get this little guy to go down in that hole, and that, all the stuff to line up. which shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. And everything lined up. Well, everything the pivot. Oh, there the pivot went back in. Be sure to keep that pivot flush when you do that, or you'll have problems. But there we go. Everything went back together. And I tell you guys, dealing with these newer knives, and it's not just WE, it's most of your newer knife companies, these things just go back together so nice. I know I say it in every video, but it's so nice from the days of fighting with it. And, oh my God, is this going to work? Or, oh my God, is it not going to work? And, you know, it just works nowadays, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate the people taking time to pay attention to their machining tolerances. And, you know, for the companies that are ODMing stuff, for paying that little bit extra to get those tolerances. And, you know, we have to pay that little bit extra too. But, man, I'll pay an extra couple bucks a knife to get those tolerances because, oh, it just makes life so much easier. And while we're here, I do want to pull out these other two screws on the end of the knife to show how to swap this pocket clip and what the differences are. If you pull this screw out and this screw, you'll notice that they are short little screws. See? Hard to see them there. Put them there in my hand. These are the ones that go in the pocket clip. So if you switch from left to right or right to left with the pocket clip, you got to take the screws and flop them around on the other side too. But that's the deal. You know, these are just little screws to make things look done and finished. And I did notice one thing I forgot to do, and it's going to be, am I going to be able to pull it off? Yes. If you look really close, and you probably can't see it, but I've got the detent ball showing right there. And I'm going to put a drop of this 85 weight down, right down in between there to get into that detent ball hole in the blade because I forgot to put it in whenever we had everything apart. And that is a problem. Is it necessary to put that little bit of oil down in there? And all I did with the piece of paper was kind of shove the oil down in there and pick up some of it that was excess. So there are our little screws for putting this thing left or right hand as far as the pocket clip goes. But we're going to put it back right hand for now, so we need to put the pocket clip on this side, which we use the longer screws for. And put the little screws back in on the other side. And then hang on just a minute before you run off. I need to show you again how to tighten up those sleeves, because I just snugged them down. I didn't even really snug them down, just kind of put them in there. And there's another thing, don't tighten both of these screws down one at a time. Kind of leave it loose until you get it all lined up, and then tighten both of those pocket clip screws up. So, go ahead and what I do with the other T8, it's right here. On these that have the little sleeves, you want to stick a T8 in both sides of it and just give them a little snug. Don't over tighten these titanium screws. That is what happens. Well, you have people that think that they have to gorilla torque the screws. And those are the people that hate titanium. Well, not all the people. Those are some of the people that hate titanium screws. Why? Because you can't gorilla torque titanium. The way titanium threads do their thing is more on a bit of, it sounds silly, but it's the truth. It's kind of a stretch. Whenever you put them in there and snug them just a little bit, those threads stretch just a smidge. And whenever they stretch just a smidge, they start to lock up tight and hold the threads of the hole, or the holes holding the threads of the screw, however you want to look at it. And that's the magic of the titanium. But if you over torque them, the titanium screws will strip out. So don't need to over torque titanium for sure. You know, you really shouldn't be over torquing stainless, but if you're working with a hard stainless, if you're working with a grade 5 or a grade 8 bolt and something big, yeah, you have to put so many foot-pounds of torque on that thing. If you're working even with those 303, 304 stainless screws, you don't need to torque them down real tight. Same goes for the 420 hardened screws. They don't need to be gorilla torqued, friends and neighbors. All that does is cause you problems with the knife and ends up stripping something out. Get them down snug, give them just a wee bit more, and use your favorite thread locking compound. I suggest Fibertype, but no, they should pay me for suggesting that because I suggest it all the time. But anyhow, they don't. But use a proper thread locking compound and don't over torque the screws. Anyhow, guys, that was what's inside the WE Bullit. You guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the ApexNews.com, the Apex Podcast, the weekly Apex News show, the Slicey Dicey Podcast, and you can find them all at the ApexNews.com. Love you guys. See you next time.